Hello, Power Up Nation. Pat Council here to share information about what extra preparation you need for achieving your goals. Now, once you have gotten your master plan all established, you've written your goals out, you think that you're ready to move forward. And a lot of people are excited as the new year comes in, or when it's coming in. They're super excited about what the new year is going to bring. And they set goals. However, the statistics show that people fizzle out within the first 45 days of the year. And in some cases, they don't make it past the first month. So what does it take to follow through to the end? And what's the end? The end is you getting the results that you desire to get. What you wrote down, the goals that you wrote on your paper or typed in your computer or in your phone or wherever you put your goals. So why does this prevent us, or what prevents us from following through? Well, I want to share a little bit about the extra preparation that you need in order to achieve those goals. When you set your goals, there is some preparation that is needed, because success finds the people who prepare for it. There's no such thing as luck. If you prepare for success and you prepare properly, you will get the results that you're after. Well, once you've done all the outside work, in other words, writing the goals down, creating your plan of action, once you've done that, then the next thing that we often forget to do is to prepare by preparing ourselves internally. That is when your preparation is complete. So complete preparation has to be made within as well as without. And in order to make the right kind of preparation within, realization has to take place. In other words, you want to reflect on, let's say, the past year and write down what worked for you, what did not work for you, and perhaps what will you do differently in the coming year? Because realization is what it takes for you to have a complete plan. And as I said, that realization can only come from the inside of each individual, listening to your spirit and the promptings that come from your spirit, and then giving it permission through your mind to allow what you desire to actually come into fruition. In other words, this is about an inner realization of being able to receive the abundance that you desire. So as you go within, you want to sit quietly and try to realize what kind of changes that you want to make or that you're willing to make. Because one of the things about realization, when you come to the right realization, that means you're operating in truth. And when you operate in truth, then things are going to align with the goals that you set. Because in order for you to fully operate in that truth, what has to happen is you have to accept the fact that, well, there's some changes that I need to make. There's something that I need to do differently. And it's really not anyone else's fault that I got the outcome that I actually received, or I didn't get the outcome that I was hoping to get. Now, does that mean that perhaps someone didn't do something to you that they shouldn't have done? Yeah, that could have happened to you. But it's not about what someone did to you. It's about how you responded to it, because you can back up, regroup, realize what you can do differently, and make the decision that you're going to do things differently. Realization is an inner process of mental acceptance. And that has to take place, let's say, both on the conscious and subconscious level of the mind before any results can appear. So if you didn't get the results that you were after this year, that means your conscious mind wanted one thing and your subconscious mind wanted another. Now, usually the conscious mind decides, hey, you know what? I want to have, an increase in my income. or whatever you decide. But let's go with income. That's always easy to visualize. If you say, you know what, I wanted to earn an extra $100,000, and your conscious mind is okay with doing that because you thought it, but your subconscious mind says, you know what, the truth of the matter is, you're not willing to do the necessary work. Doesn't mean it has to be extra work, but perhaps you have to make a few changes in your plan or do something differently than you've done before. And that's where realization comes in. So if you don't accept the realization that, wait a minute, something's got to be different, until you do that, your subconscious is going to stay programmed to bring you what you've always gotten. You've heard the saying, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. And that's really what it's about. But when realization kicks in, now you can decide to do something very different. You can decide to do something that will actually bring you what you desire. So now your plan is not just this basic plan or a master plan that you rushed through. It is the supreme master plan, meaning that this plan is energetic. This plan is connected to you because it is rooted in your identity at that point. As a matter of fact, all the results that you get is based on identity. It's based on what you think about yourself. It's based on how you feel about yourself. It's based on what you allow to come into your life, what you find to be acceptable. It's based on the fact that even if you find something not to be acceptable, you don't say anything. You let it persist. So either way, you're giving it permission to deny you what you truly deserve and what you truly desire. So the extra preparation needed for achieving your goals is realization. You have to take the time and do that inside work, that mental work, that emotional work, okay, and decide, what am I going to let go of? What am I going to change? What am I going to keep? What am I going to build on and amplify? So you want to take a look at all of the categories that I just mentioned, you guys. And so this will allow you to kind of dispose of the, let's say, a lack mentality, or the mentality that's been holding you back or preventing you from achieving the goals that you desire to achieve. So once you can dispose of that kind of mentality, then you can replace it with the right kind of mentality that will allow you to flourish. Sometimes we want to hold on to yesterday's news, and yesterday's news is things that we were taught growing up that were not correct, things that made us think that we were inferior because someone else's word said this is who you are, and we still hold on to that. It's somewhere in our minds. Now, so in order for you to achieve goals or go higher, or just even achieve your basic goals, if you haven't done so yet, but in order for you to go to the next level and to keep from bouncing back into a situation that you don't want to be in, you have to really override all of that. And again, that is inner work preparation. You have to take the time to do inner work. Sometimes I've heard some people think that, that's mumbo jumbo. Oh, that isn't real. But the basic scripture, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, tells us that it's real. Okay. That this, that being able to do the inner work is very necessary. So think about that as you look at your goals. Be honest with yourself and go, okay, I've set these really big goals. And I know a lot of times when you listen to someone who's teaching about goal setting and they tell you, well, if you achieved your goals last year, you need to set bigger goals this year. Okay, great. That's true. Then they say, well, if the goal doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. Well, I don't know about that. Okay. But it should challenge you. I will say that the new goal that you set should challenge you to grow, challenge you to learn something new, challenge you to dismiss the things that kept you on a certain level, a level that you no longer desire to be on. And sometimes that means that you have to give up quite a bit. And I'm talking mentally and emotionally. I'm not talking about people. We're not talking about the outside. The outside will take care of itself, I think, once you're convinced on the inside that this is what my life will look like. This is the life I will have. I will have this magnificent life. I will wake up every morning and be excited about who I am. I will constantly be excited about the fact that this journey through life that I'm on, that I am working on becoming better and better each time. The other thing, when you're doing this inner work, this extra preparation that is definitely needed for achieving your goals, you have to let go of the past. Now, that's easier said than done sometimes, okay? Because it's easy to want to bring up things from the past, but you have to ask yourself, is this going to serve me? How does this serve me? How does this make my life better? And understand this, that the things that you're holding on, and I know people like that, and they hold on to things for years and years. So just imagine that you are a diamond, an actual diamond. Not that you are, we know you're human, but just imagine a diamond, right? And that diamond falls on the ground. No one finds the diamond, but every time somebody walks by, they kick dirt on it. And they continue to kick dirt and more dirt and more dirt. And then some grass starts to grow on the diamond. Well, that diamond is being pushed down further and further, and it's hidden. So the value is hidden. The value is actually of no value to anyone because it's just sitting there. This is what it's like when you're holding on to the past and you put one thing from the past on top of another. And that's why it's so important to let go of things from the past. I mean, there are people who talk about things from the past that happen perhaps in their family year after year after year, and generation after generation and after generation. And it does not mean that it didn't happen just because you don't talk about it, but you have to decide if you're going to move forward. If you're going to move forward, if you're going to move upward, or if you're just going to stay there and brood over something that you can't do anything about. Oh, wait, you can do something about it by becoming the best that you could possibly be. And what that means is you have to do that inner work and decide, what are you going to let go of? What is not serving me? What will serve me? What will I new actions and behavior processes will I adopt? What new emotional feelings will I allow to prevail? Will I amplify? Am I going to amplify love, or am I going to amplify hate and jealousy and anxiety? What am I going to do? I'm going to walk around in fear because of everything that's going on? Or am I going to do what Paul says? Whatever is just, whatever is noble, think on these things. And I'm kind of giving you the short version, but you guys can Google it and look that scripture up. Think on these things. And so this is why the inner work must be done. When you write these goals out, what do you see happening? You see, okay, I have work to do. I've got to do this plan of action. But the rest of that is you want to see the end of the game. You want to see the prize at the end, and you want to keep that in the forefront of your mind as though it is a done deal, because this is how we work as human beings. That's how you build anything successfully. And people go, well, I don't have it yet. I might see it, but I don't have it. Well, you want to see it and stick with that. Whenever an architect is drawing the blueprints for a house, they're not drawing just basic the blueprints without knowing what the house is going to look like in the end. They're drawing the blueprints based on the outcome. And that's how you want to prepare for your goals. Whatever goals you've written down, you want to prepare for those by looking on the inside and seeing the end game. What is it going to look like in the end? Because in between all of that, you will have to do some work. A lot of times our inner work is based on us learning something new, not always doing something new, but sometimes yes. But you won't do anything new if you don't take in any new information, or if you don't inspire yourself or motivate yourself from the inside out, instead of looking to the outside world and worry about what's going on. So I want to encourage you guys to do the extra preparation. Okay. And with that being said, I recently released, it is a course and a masterclass, and it's called Inspired Powered Goal Setting. And I walk you through all of the above, everything, doing that inner work. What do you want to pay attention to? And how do you even find your purpose? How are you sure that this is your purpose? How do you stay empowered to the point where your energy is focused in the direction that you would like it to go, so that you can get the outcome that you're looking for? And so if you guys want to check that out, it'll be in the show notes, or just go to Designing Your Life Achievers Academy, or go to designingyourlifetoday.com, and it's right there on the homepage. You can click and see what the modules are and everything. So it is nicely done. And I'm not saying it just because I put it together. I'm saying it because of the feedback that I'm getting. And people are very excited about a new perspective on goal setting, as well as a little bit about goal achievement. And we touch on both, but it is mostly about goal setting and doing that inner work. So with that being said, you guys, that's all I have for you today. And I want you to make sure that you have some very powerful goals, goals that excite you, goals that inspire you, and goals that are actually connected to your identity. Okay. And in the meantime, while you're putting all that together, remember, you are here to do life with power, because you are built by design to win.